program is truly a global one, with many top Australian standouts with talented players from across Louisiana. Tonight, the Colonels take on an Oral Roberts squad hungry to get back on the winning track. It's Nicholls and Oral Roberts coming up next. Southland Conference basketball on ESPN 3. We're in the Bayou Country, Stouffer Gymnasium in Thibodaux, Louisiana, as we get you set for Nicholls hosting Oral Roberts. Hello, everybody, alongside Van Chancellor. I'm David Salzman. We wish you hello on ESPN 3 in the States, and a special welcome to all of you watching here on this Friday morning in Australia and New Zealand on ESPN. So excited to be able to bring you this game tonight from half a world away. Van Nicholls 5-2 in the Southland Conference. A big reason for that is their Australian contingent.
Yeah, these players from Australia, they can pass, they can shoot the three ball, they know about team play. They're outstanding fundamentally, and that's been the difference in the Nicholls basketball team.
As we look at the Southland Conference status check, Nicholls and Oral Roberts in the thick of the Southland Conference race. But right now, it's the Lumberjacks of Stephen and Austin alone at the top with 15 straight wins and 7-0 in the Southland Conference. Second place gets the second double bye at Merrill, Madison, March. And Sam Houston State and A&M Corpus Christi, both at 6-2, and both are playing tonight in Huntsville. And how about this for an oddity? Not much of a home court advantage last week. The road teams went 10-3. Nicholls won their only game last week at McNeese in overtime. Oral Roberts lost 2 at home to SFA and Northwestern State. As we go one-on-one in this matchup, let's look at Oral Roberts. Not a very deep team offensively, but they get a lot of production out of Sean Glover.
And Glover is an outstanding scorer. In their loss at Northwestern State, he was 13 for 20 for 32 points. And they said he scored from everywhere. What an outstanding offensive threat in this game tonight.
Nicholls for years now, a strong pipeline of players coming from down under. Sam Macbeth is the leading scorer among players from Australia for the Colonels, just under 8 a game.
But what Macbeth does is not only is he a great scorer, a three-point shooter, but he can pass the ball. He can set up his own shot, but set up his teammate's shot. That's invaluable as far as trying to win a championship.
Nicholls looking to go to 6-2 in the Southland Conference. Oral Roberts looking to right the ship and end a short losing streak, going for their 5th Southland win. The tip from the Bayou Country coming up next on ESPN 3 and ESPN in Australia and New Zealand.
At Mid-South Bank, we're dedicated to providing loans that allow our customers to achieve their business and personal dreams. That's one promise you can bank on. We're not just business associates, we're neighbors. We're committed to our customers and the strength of our local economy. Here at Mid-South Bank, responsibility matters. With over 61 locations and still growing in Louisiana and Texas, discover how our customers are finding strength in numbers at Mid-South Bank.
This will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm.
Saved $760.
Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to contact your local State Farm agent.
Basketball exclusively on ESPN3. Brought to you by Mid-South Bank, the official bank of the Southland Conference. It's time to love your bank. By State Farm. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think their car insurance costs more. But with discounts up to 40%, you may find it costs less. by Houston Methodist West Hospital, leading medicine, and by Jostens, the official championship ring provider of the Southland Conference. Jostens, the ring of champions.
Sacrifice you make in the off season is to be in this position. Have fun. 40 minutes. 40 minutes. The very best basketball you can put on the floor. Let's see what happens. Let's get it. Come on, let's go, man. Let's go. Let's go. Your time. Your time.
Thomas on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thomas.
That's Nicholls head coach J.P. Piper, and he has helped start the pipeline of some of the best players from Australia to come to Thibodaux, Louisiana, and the Bayou Country to play college ball. What a job he has done making this program competitive in the Southland and one of the best teams in 2014 at 5-2. The State Farm starting lineup: Sam McBeth is the only Aussie in the starting lineup for the Cardinals. Dantrell Thomas, senior from Manny, Louisiana, leads them in scoring at 15.5 a game. We talked about Sean Glover for the Golden Eagles and are open just under 22 points a contest. Corey Bilberry, sophomore from Tulsa, averaging 12.5 points and 6 rebounds per game. Oral Roberts, 0-2 last week. Home losses to SFA and Northwestern State. It's been 9 days since the Colonels have played, coming off an overtime win at McNeese, and happy to be in front of their home fans, a number of students especially here in Stouffer Gym tonight.
Yes, I didn't think the 9-day layover hurt Nicholls women's basketball team. Maybe it won't hurt their men's basketball team.
Certainly did not hurt the women. They led the whole way in defeating ORU earlier tonight.
Yeah, and we got an outstanding player for Coach Scott Sutton's team. I almost called him by his brother's name because he and his brother and I coached at Ole Miss when he was on Rob Evans' men's staff. But anyhow, Glover can get it done. He had 32 in their last loss against Northwestern State.
ORU and their Road Blues will have the ball first. Jabbar Singleton wearing number 0, freshman from New Orleans. Just about an hour northeast of where we are in Thibodaux.
But Nicholls is going to play tough man to come out in it. They're one of the best defensive teams in this conference.
Sean Glover gets things started right away with his first 2.
Glover just stepped up and shot over Macbeth. And Glover is just an outstanding talent. He was 13 for 20, can you believe? What a coach.
Scott Sutton, it's hard to believe, 15 seasons now as ORU head coach. Only 1 season has his team finished under 500 in conference play.
He had to be a coach. His daddy is one of the great coaches in this country and ought to be in the Naismith Hall of Fame. I'll say it right off the bat. No one could coach better than Coach Eddie Sutton.
Boy, I agree with you. And you mentioned Scott's brother now on his staff, Sean Sutton, former head coach at Oklahoma State, his 3rd season as a full-time assistant. Question over the clock as we have a stoppage of play. You see the early ORU lead at 2-0. Nicholls looking for their first ever win over the Golden Eagles. They are 0-4 all time. J.P. Piper now in his 10th season with Nicholls, but his Colonels have made the Southland Conference Tournament 4 of the last 5 years. Took him a few years to get this program to where it's at now.
What a recruiter. If he can go to Down Under, one of my favorite countries, by the way. If he can get a player to come here, he's done an outstanding job.
We will talk quite a bit about the Australian contingent. 6 players from Australia on this Nicholls State squad. And this is Macbeth from Down Under and from downtown off the mark. Follow also off the mark by Shane Rillier, and here comes the Golden Eagles.
Transition defense for both teams, because I guarantee you Oral Roberts likes to get up and down and run it.
In fact, the Golden Eagles are averaging just under 80 points a game in Southland play, to your point, Van.
Yes, and they're going to get it up and down and do a nice job of going inside the word. What a great shot to go up over the double team. This is going to be a tremendous game. Drew
Wilson, the 3rd, sophomore from Tulsa, matching his season average, 2 points.
This offense they run, great patience, tremendous back screens, and get a layup. They shoot a high percentage because they get a lot of layups.
And they get the back screen. Thomas, the assist, their leading scorer, also their leading assist man, finding Jeremy Smith.
But I told you, Macbeth was a passer. All those Australian guys can really pass the basketball.
Macbeth, sophomore from Sydney. Singleton left open for 3. 7-2, the Golden Eagle lead early.
The Golden Eagles didn't let the bus ride. They couldn't get a flight to New Orleans, so they bust down to Lake Charles. They haven't let the bus ride bother them.
Drove from Lake Charles the 3+ hours to Thibodaux today. They'll go back tonight when this game is over. They'll play at McNeese on Saturday. It's a foul called on Bobby Word. First foul called on either squad.
Foul number 1, Bobby Word.
If you're playing at home, you're Nicholls. You got to settle down and be able to, you know what? Oral Roberts to get all their confidence and go to feeling really good about themselves.
You know ORU's playing with a chip on their shoulder, losing twice at home last week. Thomas off the mark. Golden Eagles with it.
They're trying to post up and go inside the Glover. McBeth is chosen that assignment. It's going to be a tough matchup.
From about the same place where he hit his first jumper, Sean Glover's 2 for 2.
Glover's continuing his play that he had against Northwestern State. Now, if you got to come down. If you're Nicholls, you got to get a good look at the basket. Run their little back cuts. They're running 5 out, little motion. Get a layup. Catch someone switching and make a play.
Here's Rillier, junior from New Orleans. Got a shot blocked, taken away by Bilberry. ORU has it 5-on-4.
All the way to the rim. Bilberry will be called for the walk.
You watch them. They go coast to coast. What a play now. And that was a questionable, I don't want to start out the broadcast questioning a call, but I didn't quite see that walk.
Looked good to me as well. Scott Sutton disagrees. This team remains up 7 in the early going in Thibodaux. This is Thomas. Hounded by Wilson. Now he'll try to drive and draws contact. A foul call.
Thomas has been an outstanding scorer for Nicholls this year. He's able to go to the basket, averaging over 15 points a game. It's shot really well, and they had to get him started.
Just 2 points for Nicholls so far. They've hit one of their first 5 shots. Oral Roberts 4 of 4. Carpenter.
T.J. Carpenter, the sophomore, with his 35th 3 of the season.
You look at it now, you see Carpenter come off of the out-of-bounds play, step up and just drill it. Talking to Coach Piper, he was telling me that they had to have him to shoot well to make Oral Roberts come out of that zone and pressure and play man.
Carpenter averaging 9.5 points a game. It's a very good mix of experience and younger players on this Nicholls squad, but no doubt the 2 seniors, Dantrell Thomas and Jeremy Smith, lead the way, combining for 28 points a game.
Glover on his own with a basketball, just under 22 a contest. Draws the hand check on McBeth.
Glover right now with McBeth, there's a lot of quickness. I think he's going. Glover likes to go left. Every shot he's had, you'll see him right now. It's going left. I think McBeth is going to have to force him right. That's pretty unnatural for a defensive player.
Golden Eagles have led the whole way so far in the early going. Bilberry. First miss from the floor for ORU. McBeth the board. Cardinals on the run. Here's Smith. May have been blocked by Wilson. Taken away by ORU. Almost a walk. Bilberry retains it.
Both teams up and down. What a fast-paced game. Nicholls is playing at a faster pace than I thought they would play it. I knew Oral Roberts would.
Thomas called for his first foul. Oral Roberts, the early lead down in the Bayou.
Wow, Gary, that was really interesting. Jordan, wow, close. Nice try, Jordan and Gary. As a consolation prize, you still have won 25 free bonus wins. Thanks for competing in the half-court Heat, brought to you today by Wingstop. Also, fans, would you enjoy a free smoothie? Sign up at the Colonel's Nutrition booth near the Stokeford Gym entrance for your chance to win.
David Salzman, Van Chancellor, Nicholls, and Oral Roberts, an early 4-point ORU lead. Boy, is this game important. SFA continues to roll. They're 7-0 in conference as we look at the standings. Sam Houston State, Orion, Corpus Christi will have their third conference loss because they're playing as we speak in Huntsville. There's Nicholls and ORU at 4-3. Golden Eagles lose, Van. All of a sudden, they're sweating it out just trying to make it in the top 8 to Katy.
These games are so vital. This is a flip-flop game. The winner of this game moves ahead of the loser. If Oral Roberts loses, they're in a fight to get in the top 8. And for our friends who don't know this from Australia and New Zealand, you have to finish in the top 8 in this league to make the tournament.
Liam Thomas is on the floor for Nicholls, wearing number 24. 6'10 freshman from Sydney, Australia. Colonel's leading shot blocker. Good cut, catch, and shot by Bill Berry. He'll go to the line for 2.
Bill Berry had a great game. When you think about the games they had against Northwestern, I don't see how they lost. Glover was just outstanding, and then Bill Berry just was. Glover had 32. Bill Berry had 29. I talked to Coach Sutton. He said, "How did we lose the game? We shot 50%, 75%, and then out-rebounded them and still got beat."
16 ORU turnovers. Key led to 25 Northwestern State points in that 4-point loss.
I'm interested to see how Nicholls is going to use the big kid in this 5-out offense. He's a back screener, but he can be an outstanding passer.
With Thomas on the floor, Macbeth is on the bench for Nicholls. Smith unable to connect in his second field goal, but will go to the line. Bill Berry's called for his first foul.
24, Corey Bill Berry. First personal foul.
Smith, they run this offense, and what they wind up with is mismatches inside. You'll see Smith on the low block trying to post up his defender and now get 2 free throws. That's the beauty of this. You and I were talking to Coach Piper. He'd run this for the last 20 years except for last year.
Gets the shooter's touch.
Nicholls is not a very good free throw shooting team. They're shooting around 60 or a little bit less. So every time they make one, I think Coach Piper, he's relaxed and thinking, man, that's just a bonus.
Smith, a career high 25 in the huge Colonel win 9 days ago, their last game at McNeese. Thomas tied his career high with 27 in that win over the Cowboys.
Now we see a 2-3 zone. I thought they would play that because Glover is a matchup problem for anybody on the Nicholls team.
J.P. Piper telling us before the game he doesn't like to play a lot of zone, but the Golden Eagles have had trouble against it recently in their losses to SFA and Northwestern State. They're able to find Glover underneath. What a great pass from Wilson.
Yes, and when you got a great player, Oral Roberts is doing a nice job of hunting Glover every time down. Sometimes players forget the great players that they don't look for, but what a tremendous opportunity for Oral Roberts.
Smith, tough catch. He'll go to the line once again.
Foul number 24, Corey Bill Berry.
Bill Berry picks up his second foul.
And that could be vital. I think that Coach Sutton has to take him out with 14 minutes to go. Your second leading scorer. I think you got to get him out of the game and let him sit down a little bit.
They're not a deep team offensively. Glover 22 a game. Bill Berry at 13 a game. Is second among active players. Obi Amegano just played 4 games this season, tore his ACL in a loss at St. Louis. He was supposed to be a major contributor offensively for ORU. He averaged 19 points a game in the first 4 games of the year. But third among active players in scoring for Oral Roberts is DJ Jackson, just under 7 a game, and Jackson has just checked in for the first time.
Yes, and see, Bill Berry and Glover are playing big minutes. In the last game, 35 and 38. 2-3 zone, you put Thomas, the big 6'10" kid, in the middle. You let him block shots and rebound. Now he doesn't have individual responsibilities.
Thomas covering Glover, a tough turnaround jumper, and Glover is 4 of 4 from the floor.
No wonder he scored 32 points. I really like his game. I watched Fred Hunter play last year for Nicholls, and he was outstanding here, but Glover is doing a great job.
Glover, 916 points in his career. Consistent contributor for Scott Sutton's squad. 3 off the mark by TJ Carpenter, and it'll be ORU basketball.
I think this was a shot that I think Nicholls has got to get a better shot against this explosive Oral Roberts basketball team.
Thomas on the bench for Nicholls, our leading scorer. Wearing number 14 on the floor is Jadante Fry, 6'4" redshirt freshman from here in Thibodaux, Louisiana. Bucket will give Oral Roberts their biggest lead. 3 from the corner by Word off the mark. Nicholls basketball.
See, the only thing that you got to watch when you go to a 2-3 zone, it's not as easy to rebound. Everybody thinks Coach Piper didn't want to play zone today. He told us that. He says, I hate to play it, but I think I've got to play it to win. You got to do what you got to do to win. But when you're in it, you got to watch. It's not individual blockouts, and sometimes you give up some offensive rebounds.
And this is Smith with the basketball for the Colonels. And a whistle away from the ball is going to be a foul on ORU. That's on Word, and so that is his second foul. Now, Word averaging 6 a game, but he had upped his offense as of late. 20 points against Houston Baptist a couple of weeks ago, and 17 against UIW. Now he has to take a seat.
Oral Roberts right now has 2 starters in foul trouble, and that's the difference when they're out of the game. When you lose both of them, it's tough sometimes.
Pedro Maciel comes in for Nicholls. One of their many international players, but he's from Brazil, a senior from Sao Paulo. Smith facing up on Adrian Weber. Finding Fry. Macbeth was just checked in, but unable to get the rebound for the Colonels.
Nicholls has had some good looks, just can't knock them down.
They're 2 of 9 from the floor. Macbeth gets the basketball for Nicholls. What's ORU doing defensively to have success against the Colonels so far?
So what they're doing is making them shoot over them, not around them. They're just switching this motion offense and making Nicholls shoot the ball from outside.
ORU giving up 72 in conference play per game coming in. With 3 to shoot, Macbeth. Maciel, the offensive board. Macbeth will give it another try. The first 3 for the sophomore from Sydney, Australia.
I told you in the pregame that he was going to be able to shoot the ball from outside. That's what I love about the international player. They have so many facets to their game. They have so many things they can do and do well.
He's hitting over half his 3-point attempts in conference play. ORU quiets the crowd. Brandon Conley, sophomore from Fort Worth, Texas, with his first 2.
Oral Roberts right now is scoring very, very well. I think Nicholls is going to have to find some way to get a better hand in their face.
Foul called on Oral Roberts. And that is already their 6th of the half. Nicholls basketball when we return. Golden Eagles off to the good start in Thibodaux.
Make no little plans here. It's a statement of people who think big. People who are easily frustrated with the status quo. People who want to change the world. Whatever it is that you're called to accomplish, know this. ORU is a place that inspires greatness. It's about the power of an idea, and it's about the power of change. So the only question is, what's your plan?
It's the countdown to Katy. Southland Conference basketball teams are fighting for a chance to play in the Merrill Center. A league title and a bid to the big dance will be on the line. The action begins March 12th. Visit southland.org/Katy or Ticketmaster.com and start your countdown to Katy.
Oral Roberts 7 of 9 from the floor early. Nicholls just 3 of 11. Their last field goal, the Macbeth 3.
What a shot. See when you let him get his feet planted and shoot the basketball. But I want to go back. I know about Australia. I played them. As you look at read some of the things. Tell us about what he's doing before I tell you this story.
Well, Macbeth went to Campbelltown High School, led them to back-to-back Sydney Southwest Championships, 07 and 08. Top 5 player in the state of New South Wales, voted on by their league coaches. Anatoly Bose was a great colonel from Australia, all-conference player. And J.P. Piper says that Sam Macbeth can be even better than him if he can continue to stay healthy. He's just a sophomore.
Sometimes the international player like that, the physicality of American basketball, but once they get used to it now, they usually have outstanding careers.
Strong drive by Thomas, but ORU is there defensively. Nicholls now just 3 of 12 from the field. Coming in, they were hitting 45% of their shots.
3 of 12 and only down 6. You got a little ball screen, but you got to watch it now. Somebody's going to have to stop Glover. He's red hot. Someone is shooting the ball like he is. You cannot give him an open look.
He doesn't try a lot of threes, but he hits almost 50% of them, and he has 11 already in the early going. Luke Doyle wears number 33 in for Nicholls, the freshman. Macbeth left open, but off the mark from long range. Singleton for ORU. Golden Eagles can go up double figures.
They're going to come down against this little zone. They're running a little screen and roll with Glover, then screening him and popping him out. Someone from Nicholls has got to find 11 and defending.
This is Weber. Glover is at the elbow in front of him. They move it the other way, and Wilson fouled on the strong move to the hoop.
You'll see the great patience on offense. Scott Sutton called a play against this zone from the bench. They moved the ball, did a great job of reversing it and going inside and getting a tremendous look.
You mentioned J.P. Piper doesn't like to play zone, but he said he just have to because of how ORU struggled against it last week. But he also told us before the game, he said, Scott Sutton's a great coach. He figured that they would be better prepared against the zone. That's certainly the case so far.
Yes, in 2 games, maybe they saw zones. I know Northwestern State never plays zone, and they played them a zone last week, so maybe it was a hard adjustment, but he's had those days, and they've come in here prepared because he realized this, that they were going to see a zone.
Wilson, 0 of 7 from the line this year. And it's going to be a lane violation on ORU. Now, Glover disagrees, but Wilson held the ball for a good second. It is an awkward form at the line.
Wilson not only faked off everybody in the stands, but he faked off one of his teammates.
He was way off on the free throw anyway, and Nicholls has the ball down 9. Colonels have hit just 1 of their last 6, and they're being out-rebounded by ORU, 9-3. Glover the tip. Thomas, though, gets the last tip into the hands of Fry. 13 to shoot. This is Rillier, junior from New Orleans. Driving on Singleton, spinning in the paint, great finish.
What a great spin move by catching all fouls, have the presence to lay it in. This is the spark maybe Nicholls needs down 7.
TJ Jackson with it, wearing number 12. Their leading assist man, and also almost a 2-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. Now reaching called on Thomas as Glover got the pass just right of the paint.
Thomas will learn this as a young freshman. You're behind him. You see really come in and go to the basket and finish. This is a spark that Nicholls needs. But on the defensive end, Thomas, you don't reach. When you're 6'11", play behind Glover. Make him make a shot over you. People that reach are little bitty guards.
2 Aussies we've seen on the floor for the Colonels so far, both with 2 fouls. So Macbeth and Thomas, both now on the bench. Jeremy Smith checks back in for Nicholls. Both teams with 6 fouls.
But right now, I love Oral Roberts' patience against this zone. That's what you have to do.
Glover continues to be hot from the floor. He's still perfect. 6 of 6.
Glover is 5 for 5 right now with 11 points. Somebody's got to find a way to defend it. I called timeout one time and told my team what a player's number was. Somebody better find that number. That's what they better do with Glover.
Glover has scored 20 or more points in 6 straight games and is well on pace to break 20, maybe even this half the way he's going. Foul called on Conley for the Golden Eagles, his first.
Thomas is a player. He's a senior right now for Nicholls. He's got to take this team over. They're going to depend on him. He's averaged over 15 points a game. He's got to get to the rim. He's got to find something that can be a glue, especially when you're at home down 7 or 8 points. You can't let Oral Roberts keep playing this well. They'll have so much confidence. Now, they found a way, excuse me, David, they found a way to stop Glover. The other team's taking him out of the game.
Quick breather, I'm sure. Thomas has them both his first 2 points. 24th Colonel to eclipse the 1,000-point mark in his career.
They're going to let him, great move by Scott. Let him set out with 8-12. We're going to get a TV timeout at the 8-minute mark. That'll give him about 3 minutes for only 1 minute of playing time.
This is Jordan Kaufman right off the bench. The 7-foot sophomore drains the baseline jumper.
Yeah. The big man comes in for Glover and doesn't do nothing but step up and make a shot.
Well, you can tell ORU's playing with an edge, trying to get the taste out of their mouth from 2 consecutive conference losses.
You said the correct word. They're playing with an edge, with an attitude. Hey, I'm tired of losing.
They have not lost 3 straight conference games since early 2011. Losers of 2 straight coming in. Oral Roberts 10-10 overall. 5 of those wins away from home, and 3 of them true road victories. Still 12 to shoot. Long 3 for Weber. Here comes Carpenter. Colonels have numbers. Carpenter takes it himself. Can't finish.
Transition defense by both teams has been outstanding. They've made their opponents, each team, take a tough shot.
Colonels still in their zone. Kaufman, now 1 of 2, quickly off the bench. Smith, good double team by the Golden Eagles. Colonels will set up shop.
Now with the big men, with Kaufman coming in, they've gone to a zone. I like that move. That should protect him. Kaufman would have matchup problems, but once again, you cannot foul the shooter.
Thomas looks for 2 more points, trying to keep his team in it. Oral Roberts has led all the way.
Take the toga off and shoot the basket, son. There you go.
Good evening to all of you watching on ESPN3 in the United States, and a good Friday afternoon to all of you watching in Australia and New Zealand on ESPN. Let's look at our Southland Conference Players of the Week. Courtney Duver, what a job for the senior for conference-leading UCA. Double-doubles against Northwestern State and Stephen F. Austin. UIW proving to be tough opposition in their first year in the Southland Conference. Denzel Livingston helped the Cardinals put up 85 in an upset on Sam Houston State. He had 20 points, and then a career-high 7 steals and 27 points in a victory over Lamar, a team you'll see in Beaumont on Saturday, Van Chancellor.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Lamar play. Got a great history there. David, I was going to tell you, when I was the Olympic coach, I played Australia for the gold medal. I've seen enough of Lauren Jackson, Penny Taylor. Lauren Jackson is one of the best female players to ever play this game. They played so tough, but in the course, I went to Australia to play them, and I saw their men's team, and that's a great country. I'd love to live there sometime. I'd like to visit there more than anything. But in watching the men's teams play there, I just was amazed at how well they could pass the basketball and how well they shot it. All post players, all guards, everybody could shoot the three ball.
I don't know many who have gone down to Australia and New Zealand, but they all say when they come back that some of the most just beautiful countryside they've ever seen in the world.
Great food, beautiful place. My favorite international city, I went to 38 of them when I was the Olympic coach. That was my favorite.
Adrian Weber gets his first 2, and ORU is up 9. Wife and I, we got married in 2009 and thought about going to Australia for our honeymoon, but we got married in July, summer here, winter there. So stayed away, but I've always wanted to go down under and see what everyone's been talking about who has been there. And again, just a pleasure to be able to give you this game in New Zealand and Australia. Nicholls featuring 6 players from Australia. Thomas, nice pass, but unable to finish was really a good defense again by ORU against an offense that is tough to stop.
That blocked shot was by Glover. Not only is he doing it on offense, he's rebounding, blocking shots. He's a complete package.
Good ball movement, but looking for Glover. That was anticipated well by Carpenter, and Nicholls is going to be able to take it away. Just the 3rd Oral Roberts turnover. Carpenter off the mark from long range, and Glover there for the rebound.
Looks like to me Oral Roberts is saying, hey, nobody in the paint tonight, and right now Nicholls is struggling with their outside shot. Oral Roberts is taking away any penetration as you see Nicholls in the 2-3 zone at this time.
Nicholls is 4 of 18 from the floor, 2 of 9 from beyond the arc. ORU 11 of 15, but J.P. Piper continues to have his team play in this zone defense. 4 to shoot. Quick 3, Weber. Here comes Rillier for the Colonels. Gets it to go and fouled.
What an offensive basketball play by Rillier. To take it, get an outlet, carry it to the basket, full speed ahead. His penetration and getting to the rim is outstanding. Watch it now. Does a little crossover, goes up with his right hand, has the presence to make it.
Draws the first foul on Jackson. Shane Rillier, junior from New Orleans, at one point started 52 consecutive games. Scored in double figures in 3 of his last 4, so playing some of his best basketball. You see Thomas taking a breather. All of a sudden, the lead is down to 6, despite Nicholls shooting under 25% from the floor.
If you're Coach Piper right now, you're thinking, we couldn't throw one in the Atlantic Ocean, and now I'm only down 5, 6. What a play. I mean, I think he'd take it any time.
Nicholls will continue to play their zone. Amin Torres wears number 5 for Nicholls, sophomore from New Orleans on the floor. Glover again, his second 3. He has 16 in the first half.
What a play. I'm going to put that in my book. Glover is screening on the ball, and then one of his teammates is screening and opening him up for a 15-footer.
7 of 7 tonight, 20 of 27 his last 2 games, if you include his 32-point performance against Northwestern State on Saturday. That shot won't count. It somehow fell for Smith, but he's called for the travel.
Listen, the reason Oral Roberts is doing so good defensively. They're not hitting their players defensively. You'll see they're out on an island. They're making the Nicholls make tough plays, and they're walking.
That's just the first Nicholls turnover. Oral Roberts picked to finish second in the Southland Conference this year. To 4-3 in a logjam in the middle of the league coming in. Wilson there. He'll go to the line for two. A smart foul because, again, we saw him struggle with free throws earlier tonight, and he is 0 of 7 this season. He'll get to think about it as a timeout is on the floor. Last trip for Oral Roberts here to Thibodaux with Southland Conference members. They'll go back to the Summit League next season, and Scott Sutton's squad looking strong.
And the play-by-play one wouldn't fit in my ear right for that last game. Talk to me for a second. I got you. Okay. Since we don't have Coach Doobie, I'll just do a quick recap in that second segment. We can do it over the highlights from the player of the game. And then I'll get into classroom champs if we have time. Southland Conference men's basketball. Oral Roberts leads Nicholls 29-20 with 3:40 to go in the first half. Chris Mykoski courtside in Thibodaux, Louisiana. Coming up on the Mid-South Bank halftime report, we'll have a profile of the 6 Nicholls basketball players who hail from Australia. Tiffany Williams gives us a look at that great pipeline the Colonels have built. Also, we'll recap the Nicholls ORU women's game. The Colonels came out on top earlier this evening. And, of course, first half highlights and stats. Now for the rest of the first half action, David Salzman and Olympic gold medal winning head coach Van Chancellor.
Thanks so much, Chris. That last line pleases those watching in the States and, of course, leads to some disappointment in the country where that man, Sam Macbeth, is from Australia, as your U.S. team defeated Australia for the gold medal when you were the head coach.
Yes, and I think he might be pressing just a little bit tonight. He probably knows this is going back home. His mom and dad are watching, and you got to relax and let the game kind of come to you a little bit.
The Australian pipeline for Nicholls started when David Patrick was an assistant here. He's now an assistant at LSU, and our fans watching in Australia will recognize that name. Played professionally there. Tremendous player. He was an exchange student in Baton Rouge and actually played for J.P. Piper at the Dunham School in Baton Rouge. His first college job was as an assistant here. Not only was David Patrick responsible to start the Australian pipeline to Thibodaux, Louisiana, same thing at St. Mary's in California. In fact, he was responsible for Patty Mills, now in the NBA, for coming from Australia to that great program with Randy Bennett.
Yes, and I think it's good to see him. And Coach Piper's like any coach. To me, somebody can play. He doesn't care where they're from.
Wilson makes his first free throw of the year, and it gives Oral Roberts their biggest lead of the night at 10.
You know,
double
David,
bonus means 2 free throws coming.
Yes, and I thought that when Wilson went up for the second free throw, I thought he had a hope and a prayer. I thought it was more prayer than hope, but it looked like it was answered. But you'll see Thomas take it to the basket. I thought they played pretty good defense. Maybe there was somebody body checking inside, but Thomas is the player, in my opinion. that's going to have to bring Nicholls back. He might as well go find the basketball and start making plays. Not necessarily shots for himself, but open up opportunities for his teammates.
They've made him earn it from the charity stripe. Thomas 5 of 5 from the line, but those are his points so far. He, Smith, and Rillier with 5 apiece to pace Nicholls. Sean Glover, 16 of Oral Roberts' 30 points in the first half.
Glover has not missed a shot. Right now, I think you're going to see Nicholls go man. Somebody's going to have to match up and defend Glover.
ORU has also done this with the man with the basketball, Corey Bilberry, on the bench most of this first half in foul trouble. Just 2 points for the sophomore, who came in averaging 13 a game. This is Singleton in and out. Conley there. Follow wouldn't go. And right there for the rebound is Smith.
This is a very small Nicholls team. I think they're trying to make a matchup problem for Oral Roberts, but they're going to do a better job of blocking out.
Students en masse here at Stouffer Gym tonight. It's a low roof here. Doesn't take a lot of fans to make a lot of noise. There are enough fans here to make a ton of noise, especially after Jeremy Smith's 3.
He scored 25 points. He needs to get hot. He scored 25 in his last game. He's got to be able to step outside. They're down by 6.
4 in a row for Nicholls. Singleton cut up by Rillier. Bilberry works on Doyle, lost his balance, no traveling called. Glover with it. His first miss may have been partially blocked by Smith. Doyle, though, his pass to Rillier off the mark. ORU gets it right back.
This is a play-by-play position. I can't describe what just went on.
I had a hard time, but it's ORU with the ball when it was all said and done. Carpenter tied on Glover. Glover gives it a shot to the baseline and draws contact.
None of the students, this must be student participation night, or they're on television getting the opportunity. You'll see it now. Go down, dribble, penetrate, one turnover. Each team has it. Now the other team has it. Glover puts up one because he thought the shot clock was running out. Students are going to come out, David, when they think they can be on television. You know that? Just the way it is.
Well, campus was closed these last 2 days because of ice in the area, which is very rare. So students have had time to rest their voices, and they have been heard loud and clear here tonight. And there's just a few of them in the crowd. Many of them wearing white for a whiteout promotion that they call Stuff Stouffer, an annual event here in Thibodaux. 18 for Glover in the first half.
Kevin Durant type of night against the Miami Heat.
Was that a lot of fun? Both him and LeBron James going back and forth, and OKC, after a terrible start, able to blow out the Heat in Miami on ESPN. Scott Sutton calls timeout as his team was able to get the basketball, and after Nicholls made a quick run, a bucket will put the Golden Eagles back up by double figures.
See, in college basketball, you'll see this. Oral Roberts does a nice job of stealing the basketball. Coach Sutton thought there might have been a little confusion. He wanted a timeout. But see, you have to take a timeout. Let me explain this to you in college basketball. Then you get a timeout, a 30-second timeout that will not carry over into the second half. So you might as well use it. So he's going to set it up now. You see him in the huddle drawing up a particular play he's going to run. I look for it to be to Glover on the left baseline.
Hasn't mattered whether Oral Roberts is in the Summit League or the Southland Conference. Scott Sutton's teams have had success. 12 straight times the Golden Eagles have finished over 500 in conference play. 4-3 coming into this contest today, and that has been rare for this ORU team the last many years.
Yes. This is a team that I really thought that could add a lot to this league. The league is going to be fine without them. I just hate to see them leave it.
Basketball, baseball, tremendous athletic program up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Steele, Doyle with it, freshman from Oviedo, Florida.
I guarantee you that wasn't the play that Scott Sutton drew up after calling that timeout.
1 minute remaining.
Starting five has all the points for Nicholls. In their win 9 days ago, their last game at McNeese, 87-79, all but 3 of their points came from their starting five. The other 3 by Luke Doyle. So starting five mainly getting the job done for J.P. Piper's squad. He's from Louisiana, graduated from Southeastern in 1991. Was an assistant here for 2 years before being elevated to head coach, now in his 10th season as head coach of the Colonels.
And I think done an outstanding job year in and year out. Their teams play the right way. Their players graduate. Coach Piper's not going to allow them not to go to class. He's doing it the right way, and you got to admire a person like that.
There's Corbin Byford, redshirt freshman from Velma, Oklahoma, getting some instructions from Scott Sutton and his staff as he comes out.
See, if you're Nicholls, you're just trying to cut it down. You're trying to get into halftime down 5 or 6 and then play at home and get the crowd with you in the second half.
Or you can try to play 2 for 1. Glover will try to do just that, but off the mark. And here comes Rillier for Nicholls. Smith around Glover to the rim. Conley was there defensively. And a traveling called on Smith. Great defense around the rim by the Golden Eagles.
Yes, I thought they did a nice job of closing down. They have 3 defenders closing in. Watch it. There's 1, there's 2, there's a 3rd defender. And they don't give him the opportunity. Yes, he did walk. No question about it. Great call. Oral Roberts is going to hold for 1 shot. I look for them to run a little ball screen after holding for 1 as the clock goes down.
You mentioned the rule in college basketball. You can only carry 4 of your 5 timeouts to the second half, but J.P. Piper decided to let his team play it themselves, so he's going to lose a timeout, it looks like, getting into the second half. Weber off the mark just before the buzzer, and that'll do it. Strong first half by Oral Roberts, looking to break a 2-game losing streak. Nicholls looking to up their Southland mark to 6-2. But it's the Golden Eagles controlling much of the first 20 minutes.
The Golden Eagles get it by how they played on offense. What a great opportunity they had.
32-26. Oral Roberts with the lead on the road.
After? Okay, great. We'll need music underneath this. Tiffany did not put any music underneath, so we need to add it. Mid-South Bank halftime report live from Thibodaux, Louisiana. Oral Roberts leads Nicholls 32-26 in Southland Conference men's basketball action. Chris Maikovsky courtside again here in Thibodaux. 6 players on this Nicholls roster hail from Australia. The relationships Nicholls has built with people down there are absolutely outstanding. Anatoly Bose may be the best player ever to wear a Colonel jersey, and of course, he's from there. You've seen Sam Macbeth tonight. By the time he's done in Thibodaux, he very well may surpass Bose for that honor. Tiffany Williams has more on the Nicholls connection down under.
Throughout the years, a total of 16 Aussies have played or coached for the Colonels. According to Piper, some of the team's best players have come from down under. Stars such as Stefan Baczynski, Ryan Bathy, and Anatoly Bose have been named first-team All-Conference before moving on to have professional basketball careers in Australia and beyond. This year's squad features an Aussie assistant coach plus 6 players, including Sydney native Sam Macbeth, whose adventures playing basketball in America surpassed what he could have imagined.
It's crazy, like playing in front of like nearly 17,000 people at Indiana, like just 3 weeks ago. Like that's a crazy experience that I wouldn't have had in Australia. Like even the professional leagues over there, they don't get up to 17,000 fans. You know what I mean? And even high school here. Like I used to play basketball like on an outside court, like at school, and high school kids here, like the best high school kids are celebrities. So that's a crazy thing to me.
Along with the great experiences the players receive on the court, Nicholls offers its imports a positive environment off the court as well. Since these Aussies cannot return to their families as often as their American teammates, the Nicholls campus and Thibodaux community are there to welcome them with open arms, giving them a home away from home.
I've been here now 13 years and have a lot of close friends in the community, and so those folks look forward to actually hosting the Aussie kids on the holidays. So they'll cook Thanksgiving meal, they'll cook Christmas dinner, and they invite the kids to their homes, and they really enjoy entertaining those kids over the holidays and kind of treating them like their own children.
I like the way Americans love Australians. I mean, it just makes it so easy to make friends and stuff. As soon as you go to a fast food restaurant, people hear you speaking, they come up and talk to you and stuff. I mean, you just always feel like you're around people, you don't feel alone, even if you don't know anybody. And it's quick to make friends, so I mean, it's cool.
I mean, I love Nicholls. It's like there's a family, there's a real.
Tiffany, sorry, your story was apparently cut a little bit short there. I tell you what, go to the YouTube page for the Southland Conference, youtube.com/Southland Conference, and we'll have the full story over there. Again, 6 players from Australia on this Nicholls roster. Sam Macbeth is the headliner, but there you see a few more of them hailing from all over. Flagstaff Hill, Sydney. Alex Overs, you see there again from Sydney, the sophomore wearing number 12 tonight. Sam Macbeth leads off the second page, the second 3. You heard from Cade Towers in that feature as well. Liam Thomas, the freshman from Sydney, look to see much more big things out of him coming up in future years here in Thibodaux. Coming up, we'll look back at the women's ball game tonight between Nicholls and Oral Roberts. The Colonels coming out on top. 32-26, your score right now with ORU leading Nicholls in the men's game. Let's do the stat highlight reel we use for the player of the game. That's fine, and then the stats afterwards. Yeah. After that, let's do classroom champs. If we have, do we have time for that? How long is the highlight reel? How long is the reel? Okay. And yay or nay on classroom? Yes? Okay, sorry. They're being really loud in here. South Bank halftime report. Oral Roberts leads Nicholls in Southland Conference men's basketball action 32-26. Earlier tonight, these same two schools met in women's basketball action, and it was the home team, Nicholls, coming up with a victory over Oral Roberts. Let's take a look at some of the action, including our Southland Strong player of the game, Taylor Morrison. 15 points for her, one of 4 Nicholls players in double figures scoring-wise. Jenny Nash had 14. Amani White poured in 12, and KK Babin joined that group with 11. ORU never led this one. Nicholls from wire to wire, and the Colonels take it 71-60. You run down some of the stats, and the free throws for Nicholls were absolutely critical, including Taylor Morrison, 6 for 6 as part of that 15-point performance. And you see as a team, they go 19 for 23 to clinch the victory here over Oral Roberts. Every week we look at some of the top student athletes in our ball games, and we call them the Jostens, classroom champions. You see Mr. Obi Agamano for Oral Roberts, a sophomore guard, 3.33 GPA, majoring in psychology. He also gets his time at the Tulsa Boys Home and participates in canned food drives in Oklahoma. Cade Towers is your Jostens classroom champion, one of the Aussies on this ball club. The freshman forward getting it done in the classroom as well. 3.62 GPA, majoring in psychology, and he is a member of the Nicholls International Society. When we come back, David Salzman and Van Chancellor will run down your first half highlights and stats. This is the Mid-South Bank halftime report. Southland Conference basketball. ORU over Nicholls, 32-26.
In our first game of the night, the Nicholls women led wire-to-wire in a victory over Oral Roberts. And on ESPN3 in the States and ESPN in Australia and New Zealand, Oral Roberts looks to lead wire-to-wire. They've led all the way so far, and they're up on Nicholls by 6. David Salzman with Van Chancellor. Your thoughts on the first half so far?
I thought Oral Roberts was playing extremely well, but I also thought that Nicholls was lucky to only be down 6 when they shoot less than 30% from the field.
Let's look at the first half stats or the first half highlights first, rather. And for Nicholls, they've been able to hang in there with outside shooting.
Carpenter did a nice job of just stepping up and hitting the 3 ball, and you'll see Roulette just go in and better penetrate and have the presence to draw the three-point play. But I thought the difference in the game is our boy Glover. He's just done it all. He's passed the ball inside. He's shot the ball from outside. He's been able to make plays against the zone. Give him credit, 18 points.
18 points on 7 of 9 shooting. His teammates, 5 field goals combined. So it has been the Sean Glover show in the first half. And you mentioned Van Nicholls, 6 of 21 from the floor, and they're being out-rebounded. How fortunate should they feel to still be in this one?
I think they're very fortunate. When you shoot 28% against anybody and then get hit on the boards, you're just fortunate to be only 6 down. Now you're trying to find a way to win, and the last 4 minutes is important, but more importantly is the first 4 minutes of this game.
And Earl Roberts lost, and all of a sudden they're in danger perhaps of not even making it to the conference tournament. A Nicholls win, they're just a game back of second place. Plenty on the line in the second half to come next on ESPN.
Southland Conference basketball exclusively on ESPN3. Brought to you by Mid-South Bank, the official bank of the Southland Conference. It's time to love your bank. By State Farm. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think their car insurance costs more. But with discounts up to 40%, you may find it costs less. By Houston Methodist West Hospital, leading medicine. And by Jostens, the official championship ring provider of the Southland Conference. Jostens, the ring of champions.
Down in the bayou, south of New Orleans, here in Thibodaux, Louisiana. Wonderful place and a fun place for basketball tonight. Nicholls down 6 as the second half is underway, Van Chancellor.
Yeah, big possession early. You got to get a good look. If you're Nicholls, I think you got to find a way to get Thomas an inside shot.
Macbeth able to find Rillier in the corner. Now they work it to Smith. Smith was hot at the end of the first half, and now he has 12.
Great offense by Nicholls at that time. Everybody touched the ball. All 5 players touched the ball. Then you get a shot inside, cut the lead down. But now find Glover. Macbeth is going to have to step out and do a nice job of defending him.
Glover off the mark. Smith the rebound. ORU started the game 10 of 12 from the floor. They've hit just 2 of their last 12.
Yes, and now you're going to come back down. Nicholls is going to be very, very patient. Let all 5 players touch it, run their offense, get them a good look at the basket.
Smith working on Bilberry. Breakout year for him, 12.5 points a game coming in. Just averaged 7 a game his sophomore and junior years. Here's Macbeth, sophomore from Sydney, Australia, had 3 in the first half and takes Glover to the rim. A great reverse layup.
That's what I'm saying, Abe. Great play by Macbeth. The post, a guy that's his height, 6'7", can go under, take the ball, lay it on the floor, and make a play.
10-2 run by the Cardinals since late in the first half. Macbeth the hoop, the redshirt sophomore, started last season, but it ended early with an injury. Got a medical redshirt. Bilberry off the mark, but a whistle. Thomas disagrees, but he'll be called for a second foul.
See, I think then when you have your opponent, if you're Thomas, and they're going to have to make a tough play, don't bail them out by fouling them. Make them make the shot. Put your hand up. Don't slap down.
Bilberry is not connected from the field yet. He does have 3 free throws. Career high 29 points, 19 in the first half in their last game, a loss Saturday to Northwestern State. He's approaching the 500-point mark in his career, and he's just a sophomore.
Yes, and he can really, really score. He got great quickness, can hit the outside shot, can penetrate. But here comes Nicholls. They've got it down to 4. They're hunting a quality position.
Macbeth. Now Carpenter finding Macbeth inside, but facing up on Glover on the wing. Working the game with Smith. Tough shot with the left hand, too hard. Good D by ORU.
Well, they made Smith take a tough shot. He was unable to convert. I think that's what you have to do defensively. You're not going to stop every possession. You got to make your opponents take quick and tough looks at the basket.
It's a hand check call on Smith, just his first foul, or second rather, second.
And now you have to watch Oral Roberts running and great out of bounds plays. Coach Sutton's very, very good at that. Run a little double ball screen, pop it outside.
5-second violation called on ORU.
Great defense by Nicholls at that time. Anytime you can force a 5-second violation with the opponents having the ball under the basket, great team defense.
It's been a well-played game. That's just the 5th Oral Roberts turnover. Nicholls with just 4.
They really do a great job, Nicholls, of running this motion offense and running the counters at it. See that layup? What a play for Thomas to catch it. He felt like he was coming outside, didn't hit inside.
A free throw for Smith. And it'll be the closest this game has been since the opening tip. ORU led 2-0. They haven't looked back, but Nicholls right on their heels.
See, Thomas did this. He did a little hesitation because he thought that Wilson was going to block it, had the presence to go up and score. But when you talk to Coach Piper about this offense, he thinks the beauty of it is they work a lot on reading and taking the options. If you try to defend it one way, they are coached well enough to run it and go the other way.
That was Thomas's first field goal, and he counts the three-point play.
Only down 1. What a turnaround from earlier in this game.
Biggest lead for ORU was 10 at the 3:40 mark of the first half. Nicholls looking for their first ever win over Oral Roberts. Golden Eagles haven't hit a field goal since the 4:31 mark of the first half.
Right now, I think you've got to give Glover a touch. Let him go one-on-one.
So we're looking at 7.5 minutes since the last Golden Eagle field goal. Still cold, and Nicholls can take the lead after the Macbeth rebound. Singleton got in the way of Thomas and will be called for the foul, and I think Singleton took the worst of that collision.
I think that's an unavoidable foul. I'm always preaching about taking fouls, but you'll see it now. The pass up, what a pass up when Singleton tried to intercept it and committed a foul, but that's a hustle play. You don't have any gripes with that.
His first foul, both teams with 2 fouls this half. We haven't had a lead change all night. The Nicholls women led the whole way. ORU has led the whole way in the nightcap. Carpenter for the lead. Rebound Thomas. And a foul called on Bilberry. That is his 3rd.
See, I don't think when you're Bill Berry, you got 28 in your last game, you don't take that foul. There's no reason to be reaching around. You've got 16 minutes to go. Your coach has to take you out of the game. You're going to try to steal that ball? That's impossible. Improbable, not impossible. You cannot make those kind of defensive mistakes.
So Bilberry takes a seat. Double figures in 6 of his last 7 games, but he's been bottled up so far tonight. 4 points and all from the line. Here's your run over the last 7+ minutes. Thomas for the lead, and Nicholls has it for the first time.
Now the crowd's going to get into the game. This is going to make a difference. I look for Nicholls to pick it up a notch defensively at this time.
9-2 Colonels this half. A 15-4 run going back to late in the first half.
McBeth has done a nice job of denying Glover the ball. He's had 18 points. McBeth is all over, and he won't let him have the ball.
Jackson draws contact, and he'll go to the line. Nice move with just 4 on the shot clock. Yes. TJ Jackson, scoreless so far tonight. Free throws looking to give ORU the lead back when we return. David Salzman with Van Chancellor. And Van, I think we have a special delivery here.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I don't know, how much should we be thanking them? Because I don't know if anyone's going to share this with us.
Is it in flight feed on television? If it is, I'm going to be in it.
So for our fans in Australia and New Zealand, and for those maybe not from Louisiana who may not be aware, this is king cake, which is the sweetest cake you'd ever have. And there's usually more icing on the cake than this. It is wonderful.
When you're in television, ladies and gentlemen, you do 2 games. You don't get much to eat, so this is well deserved in my mind.
Well preserved is a good term. You know what? I lived here for 3 years. I used to do games on the radio for Nicholls, and I'll admit I had way too many of these. But they are excellent. And thanks to the fine folks at Rouse's and, of course, the Nicholls cheerleaders for giving us this king cake. Why don't you take the next 5 minutes, Van, and I'll get into this.
I don't want to be hogging your time away. I know how play-by-play guys are. They're pretty sensitive about their air time.
That's if we don't have king cake in front of us. So I'll give you to the next media timeout. Jackson at the line for ORU as they try to take the lead. This may be a little harder to concentrate on the game now.
This is excellent.
Rouse is one of the best. Fun to be back here. It's a wonderful community. I'm happy to see a great crowd and 2 really good teams. J.P. Piper, we've talked what he's done with Nicholls, and Scott Sutton. Just a model of consistency with ORU since he arrived on campus there in Tulsa.
Great job. Worked hard. And I want to tell you, I'm about this. I want to win. But I want to win with certain kind of players. I want to win with people who have good character, who are people who want to be involved in the community. I want to coach people with good character. I don't want to coach characters.
You see the serious look on his face. And we talked about how they had quite an edge to him in the first half, coming in with a 2-game losing streak. They haven't lost 3 straight conference games in 3 years. And getting all they can handle from Nicholls today. Colonels have never defeated the Golden Eagles. McBeth with the basketball. A key 3 earlier this half. Smith and 1. Jeremy Smith, 3 fouls. J.P. Piper keeps him on the floor, and it pays dividends.
Yes, and you'll see Smith do a little ball reversal, a little up and under, draws the foul, makes the free throw. Now this is a good sub by Coach Sutton. He's bringing back a real good defender, someone, Bill Berry, that's got to come in and help him. He's got 3 fouls, but, hey, you can't lose the game right now. You can lose it now as easily as you can lose it at the very end of the game.
So impressed with Jeremy Smith. The amazing thing about him,
we may have forget the game a minute. We got our executive producer in here, Chris, trying to steal our cake, but that's not going to work.
You won the whole thing.
No, the last time he did this to me up at Nicholls, they brought us some food. He carried it all to the truck, and I got very little of it. This is not happening tonight.
So we get the king cake in front of us the rest of the broadcast.
Yes, see. I'm
telling you, you may have to do the play-by-play now, Ben.
But that's not going to happen tonight. I may be the third man in this little 3-man crew, but I'm not allowed that anymore.
Hey, I didn't win 4 WNBA titles as head coach. I can't analyze like you. Macbeth, his great pass leading the break. And it's Nicholls basketball.
You see Nicholls gets the steal, goes up, but what a defensive play by Oral Roberts. I thought that was outstanding defense.
Connolly with a great defensive effort. Dangerous as Carpenter lets the ball go, but for a moment, officiating crew had a debate looking to decide who should get possession.
Nice job of hipping each other. The under guy didn't see what it was, so he looked at his buddy. His buddy had it all the way. Basketball is a teamwork game. Officiating is teamwork.
Foul call. This will be on Jackson. So you're just joining us. Oral Roberts led the whole first half and led by 10 with just under 4 minutes to go. They took a 6-point lead going into the locker room. Colonels have stormed to a 12-4 edge in the second half to take a 2-point lead.
Is that storming in the ice storm or storming back in basketball?
Fortunately for them, on the basketball floor, this campus and this city shut down the last 2 days because of ice. For the lead, Jackson, his first field goal.
Big-time basket for Oral Roberts at that time. Jackson's on the left wing. They had been struggling with their confidence, struggling to score. And when you step up and make that shot, it gives you the big mo.
An official's timeout as you see Dontrell Thomas limping. He looks better now, but as he came off the floor, he will be tended to by the Colonel trainer as the leading scorer coming in for Nicholls. Not 100% at the moment.
This game's going down to the wire. It's going to be a one-pointer with 30 seconds to go.
Oral Roberts, their 3 conference losses have been of a similar variety by 7 points, 3 points, and 4 points. Their 4 wins by 18 a game. Only 1 close win in conference play, the other 3 blowouts.
But right now, as long as you're close on the road, you got a shot.
Crowd doesn't like the call. Blocking foul on Rillier.
Coach Piper didn't like the call either. You'll see it coming here. What great defense. I think that's a tough call. Watching the replay, I think I'd hate to have to make that call.
But obviously, you have to make it because of how much contact there was.
Yes. What they wanted to do is leave it alone, but there's too much contact to do that.
1-point ORU lead. Man with the basketball, Jackson, giving the Golden Eagles the lead a moment ago. Now Word, 2 straight threes for Oral Roberts. Back up 4.
Yes, right now Word, nice shot. They're defending Glover so much, and that's Nicholls. This has opened up the outside shots for some other players.
Word, true freshman from Lancaster, Texas, in the Dallas area. His first 3 points make him at a huge time.
Nicholls has to find some offense.
Dangerous pass. Smith controls. Tough shot in the paint. Nicely done.
What a wonderful shot and the ability to penetrate, pull up, and shoot. Great defense. Both teams right now are playing outstanding defense. And just the opposition is just stepping up and making shots.
17 for Smith. Sean Glover still leads all scorers with 18, but he's scoreless this half. Word, his second straight three.
Word is feeling it right now. That basket looks as big as anything you've ever. When you're shooting like he is, that basket looks about 5 times the size of what it is.
26-3 on the year for Word, leading the Golden Eagles, but there's only 2 of the game coming on their last 2 possessions.
They changed their offense. They've been going to Glover. They decided then they couldn't get him the ball, so they stepped up and went to the 3 ball.
Nice feed inside. The freshman Fry, his first 2.
What an offensive execution by Coach Piper's team.
Macbeth into the ORU bench going for the loose ball. ORU retaining possession and a foul called on Nicholls. That's on Fry, his first.
Let's see this Nicholls execution of this 5-man cutting and motion offense. And if you just turn your head a little bit, they're going to get a layup at that time.
Macbeth to the bench, as well as Smith for Nicholls. Liam Thomas, the freshman from Sydney, Australia, checks in. First time we've seen him this half. Glover, his first points of the half. What a pull-up over Thomas.
I think Thomas is a tough matchup for Glover. I think his quickness or lack of quickness is a major league problem for him.
20 now for Glover. 7th straight game he has scored 20 or more. Crossover and 3 for Carpenter.
Tough foul. The freshman makes a foul in the backcourt, 94 feet. How you going to defend Glover there? Go back and get on defense. 6'10".
J.P. Piper will talk to his team. Van Chancellor will have some more king cake.
Are you sure we should take this billboard down?
People find out State Farm does car loans as well as they do insurance. Our bank is through.
Good point. Grab an edge. Look, there's 2 guys on the State Farm Borrow Better banking sign.
No, for real, there's 2 dudes on the State Farm
Borrow Better banking sign.
Gentlemen, please get down from the State Farm Borrow Better banking sign. Phil, get the hose.
Okay, he's getting the hose.
All right, let's go.
Want to borrow better? Contact your local State Farm agent about a car loan that could save you hundreds.
At Mid-South Bank, we're dedicated to providing loans that allow our customers to achieve their business and personal dreams. That's one promise you can bank on. We're not just business associates, we're neighbors. We're committed to our customers and the strength of our local economy. Here at Mid-South Bank, responsibility matters. With over 61 locations and still growing in Louisiana and Texas, discover how our customers are finding strength in numbers at Mid-South Bank.
Caught in the act. You know what? There are sugar rushes and there are king cake rushes. For Mardi Gras, why we're having king cake here in South Louisiana, and of course no one celebrates Mardi Gras better than the folks in New Orleans and surrounding areas such as Thibodaux, just an hour away.
I lived in Louisiana for 6.5 years. Mardi Gras, for you people that don't know it, live somewhere else, it is the thing to do in Louisiana.
Parties, parades,
yes,
king cake, and other things they can't give us on Fresh Row.
Oh, no. Oh, no. But we have a great game right now, but Nicholls needs a defensive stop here now.
Since Nicholls took the lead, ORU's hit their last 4 shots and 3 of them from beyond the arc. Looking for 4, they won't get it, but Word's going to go to the line as Doyle's called for the foul.
I thought that was a bad foul. I thought that Word had made 2 threes, but the other shots, he was squared up, had his shoulders looking at the basket. This time, watch him. He's going to be going left And I think that's a tough shot to make. The one thing you don't want to do is foul. You ever watch players on defense, though, David? They look at the ref. They knock a kid down. He falls to the floor, and they look at the ref and say, who, me? I think Nicholls has to get Macbeth back into the game. I think he was too good. He rebounded. You've got to get Macbeth and Smith into the game. They're an integral part of what Nicholls is trying to do on both ends of the court. Now you foul a three-point shooter. Now he's got 3 opportunities.
2 more coming for Word. 73% free throw shooter coming in. You'll get your wish, Coach. Macbeth and Smith both check in.
I like this substitution. Get them back in. They're starters. They're starters for the one reason. I was playing on a championship in the WNBA. I had 8 minutes to go. I asked my big 3, did they need a rest? They said no. I said, I'm going to play until you either fall out or we win or lose. Now play.
All of a sudden, a 7-point lead for ORU. What a run by Scott Sutton's squad.
It's led by Word. Jackson got a 3, and Word has had 7 points. That's 10 points between Jackson and Word in the last 4 minutes of play.
13-4 run. And yeah, Glover's teammates getting involved. Glover with 20, but just 2 this half. Both Macbeth and Thomas on the floor. First time we've had 2 Australians on the floor at the same time for Nicholls. Word picks up his 3rd foul.
Carpenter's going to come in. I think Nicholls is going to go small at this time, getting someone in. I think this is a matchup problem now with Oral Roberts with Kaufman in the game. I think if you got Kaufman in the game, now they're going to take Kaufman out. Every time Coach Sutton makes a great substitution. If they go big, he goes big. If they go small, he goes small. That's why he's an outstanding coach.
Thomas does come out. Wilson called for the foul, and that is his 4th.
Foul number 35, Wilson.
Wilson, you can tell by his reactions. You watch it now. As our man Thomas goes to the basket, Wilson thought he had a great block. He ran all the way out. Look at him. He's going to go all the way out to the free throw line. Pretty tough call. Pretty good block.
Maybe a small piece of his arm. Wilson thought he got all ball, and
I'd have probably called a foul because it made the appearance of a foul. It might not have been one, but it looked like he slapped across his arms. Now you got to get Wilson out of the game because anytime you have a lead, here's the kind of the golden rule. You got 4 fouls, you got a 6 or 7 point lead. You take him and leave him out until they cut it down to 2 or 3. If they cut it to 2 or 3 in a hurry, you get him back in. I believe you win games in 3 to 4 minute spurts, and it could be at any point during the game.
Great point. I mean, perhaps the spurt we're seeing by ORU can be key to their win if they're able to hold on. What great defense, though, by Rillier, forcing the turnover off DJ Jackson.
Rillier, I think, is one of the best defensive players in the Southland Conference. I've seen him for 2 years now. He pressures the ball. That was nothing but great defense. You're up. Just slap at the ball. I didn't think he fouled. I thought he did a nice job of applying pressure.
Looking to cut into a 6-point Oral Roberts lead. Colonels 5-2 in conference, 8-8 overall. Last year, just 9 wins total for the season.
But what right now, Oral Roberts is doing a nice job of switching all ball screens, and that's causing a little problem as you see Jackson come up with a steal.
Word stays on the floor with 3 fouls and draws the foul on Macbeth, and that is his 3rd.
See, I don't like that foul. I think that when you got penetration, Word has made some 3 balls, so they rushed out to defend him. He was going through the lane. Watch him now. He's going to cut. He's going left-handed. You don't take that foul. That's the shot I think he's got about a 15% chance of making, in my opinion. Now you put him on the line, and now it's a free opportunity to make shots.
Word was scoreless at halftime. A free throw here will give him 10. Lead up to 8 for ORU.
See, right now, if you're Coach Sutton, you're thinking, hey, we got an 8-point lead. I got 10 minutes to go. If I can just squeeze this game out, I can get a road win in the Southland Conference. That's going to be big. Every road win counts as about 1.5 wins.
To the left of Scott is his brother Sean. 3rd year as a full-time assistant at ORU. Before that, 1 year as a special advisor. Former head coach at Oklahoma State. Having a strong move by McBeth.
McBeth, I think, has played so much more relaxed in the second half. He's come out, he's played great defense, rebounded, carried the ball to the basket. Outside defense is outstanding.
Close to matching his average. 7 points now after that last bucket. 22 points in the paint for Nicholls. This is kind of surprising. ORU just 8. They'll get McBeth for a hand check to pick up his 4th foul.
See, that's the same thing. You're trying to guard Glover. Watch it. You'll see McBeth. He's out. Glover is way out on the floor. He's not made a shot from there all year. You back up a little bit defensively. And see, Glover's going away from the basket. You're trying to pressure him out there.
McBeth will come out, and for the first time we'll see Pierce Carroll, 6'6", redshirt freshman from, like McBeth, Sydney, Australia. Carroll played his high school ball at Central Private, same high school as Liam Thomas, who we've seen on the floor already tonight for the Colonels.
Nicholls State went big. Nicholls went big. Now Oral Roberts is going big. They're bringing in Coughlin to counter.
This is the 3rd game of the year for Carroll to see action. Glover will have one more. Scott Sutton, you mentioned his father, Eddie, college basketball coaching legend. Eddie did it at a number of different schools. Scott Sutton stayed in Tulsa for 15 years, all at Oral Roberts.
Let me tell you, that's hard to do nowadays. To stay anywhere 6 years or 6 weeks is really difficult to do, much less 16 years.
Oral Roberts has a knack of keeping their coaches for a while. Jerry Finkbeiner, head coach of the Oral Roberts women's team for 16 years before his assistant Misty Cousin took over a couple of years ago.
It's a great institution that knows the value of people doing it the right way. You may not believe this. I forgot this. I bet you didn't know that in 1981, I interviewed for the Oral Roberts women's basketball coaching job. Yes, I did.
Where were you at the time?
I was at Ole Miss, and I went over and talked to them. And
did they offer you? Can I ask that question to you?
Well, I don't know if we actually got that far.
Okay.
I was a young college coach, and I hate to say it like this on the air. I was going to have to leave my mother, even though I'd been married 20 years at that time, or 15, I think. And my mother lived 90 miles away from me, and I wasn't ready to leave Mama.
And Ole Miss thanks you. I can tell you that much.
I'd always been a mama's boy, so even as a grown man, I was that way. So,
is that why your wife was with you on the trip?
Do what now?
Is that why your wife was with you on the trip here?
We've been married 51 years. She's been happy 35 of them. That ain't bad.
7-point Oral Roberts lead.
I don't need a chauffeur. I got a chauffeur. My wife drives me everywhere.
Timeout. Scott Sutton and Oral Roberts. And we'll take the timeout with them. 7-point Golden Eagle lead.
Seven sheets. Please go to the
After Nicholls took the lead briefly in the second half, Golden Eagles have responded, and they are up 7, 53-46. Going into our timeout, double technical fouls called on Oral Roberts, DJ Jackson, and Shane Rillier for the Colonels. So no free throws coming, but personals called on both those players. For Jackson, that is his third, and Rillier his second.
I think that's big. I think it's useless. What? Just play basketball. I just don't think there's any room that you're going to talk enough that you're going to get a foul. Don't remove yourself. I think I think he's got 4 fouls. I think they just taken him out of the game because he has 4 fouls. The scoreboard shows he has 4 fouls.
Okay, correct. Yep, we do stand corrected. 4 fouls.
You're a starter. You're going to take yourself out of the game. Don't do anything that's going to hurt your team.
Colonels played some zone in the first half, and for the first time they show it at 2-3. Carroll still on the floor for Nicholls, roaming the painted area. Glover off the mark from long range, and a strong rebound by Fry.
What a rebound. What a jumper. What an athlete.
Just 2 field goals for Thomas so far. He's handling the basketball. Came in averaging 15.5 a game. He'll look for his 3rd field goal of the night. Gets the touch from long range.
He had that shot the first time he came down. I thought they're going to have to make that shot to win this game because Oral Roberts is kind of packing it in on them. They're going to have to make some outside shots.
He has 33 times he scored in double figures the last 2 years. The senior Dantrell Thomas from Manny, Louisiana. Lead down to 4 for ORU.
This 2-3 zone, sometimes when you go to a 2-3 zone lately, it causes problems. But what a pass inside the coffer. I thought that was an excellent play. As you look at Singleton, grab the basketball, kick it inside for a layup.
That puts Oral Roberts up 6, and a free throw coming for the 7-foot sophomore Kaufman when we return.
Take one of those.
All right. We're so excited to be able to broadcast this game on this Friday afternoon in Australia and New Zealand. 6 players from Australia on the Nicholls men's basketball team, but the connection half a world away doesn't end there. That's Elise Barclay, student athlete for volleyball from Tauranga, New Zealand, sophomore setter for the Colonels.
Ben, you do a good job of just getting all the facts out, don't you, big man?
I got some help in my headset, but thank you. You do a good job still eating that king cake.
I can't wait for the TV timeouts to come along. Kaufman comes in, gives them 3 big points at a crucial point of the game. You're now back up to 7.
Wilson in the game for ORU with 4 fouls. Carroll has gone to the bench for Nicholls. So no players from Australia on the floor for the Colonels right now. Thomas looking to force Wilson's fifth foul. He does it, and he'll go to the line for the three-point play opportunity.
We talked about Glover playing outstanding basketball in the first half, but Thomas has had some great plays. Watch him. Goes up, just muscles up, draws the foul. Wilson steps away. I thought that was a pretty tough call now.
As a defensive player, don't you have the right to the space, not on the floor, but also directly above you? So even though he jumped up, should he not have been called for the block?
I thought that would have been a good no call, but that's also, once again, a tough call.
Quietly, Dantrell Thomas now with 16 points, actually 17 to match Jeremy Smith for the team high. Glover with 22 to pace ORU. Singleton finds Bilberry inside, and he'll go to the line.
Singleton has done a very, very good job of finding his teammates, passing the basketball inside. You'll see it right here. Dribble penetrates. Nicholls has had trouble on the last two possessions of finding their men. Kaufman shot a wide open, easy shot inside. Now they just turn around and make another one, but can't make a free throw.
That was Bilberry's first field goal, but off the mark from the line. And the lead remains 6 for the Golden Eagles. 4-3 in conference. ORU. Nicholls 5-2. Tied for second in the loss column coming in. Thomas to the rim. Singleton thought he did enough to draw the charge. Instead, the foul called on the freshman, his second.
Now, I think of the toughest calls of the night. We've had a lot of them in this men's game. A lot of action, a lot of up and down. I thought that one was a tough one. I thought that's hard. And you know, you got the restraining box inside in college men's basketball today. And that the defender might have been in the box. And if you have it there, you can't have a charge.
Well, we've had 21 fouls called combined in the second half, 19 all of the first half, and both teams are in the double bonus the rest of the way.
You see the little small semicircle there? If a defender is in there, you can't have a charge.
Thomas has made a living at the line, 9 of 11 tonight. Colonels as a team, 18 of 22 from the stripe, keeping them in it.
Yes, and that's been the difference as far as them. They've had to go to the free throw line. I think that Oral Roberts now has got to come inside. I think they've got to find Glover and give him an opportunity to at least touch it.
He has the last 8 points. There's Thomas for Nicholls. And after the ORU turnover, here comes Thomas again. 2-point game.
Thomas is doing it by getting to the rim. He does a good job of just turning down the open shot, penetrating, and either drawing a foul or making a basket.
Glover wanting the basketball, and as he makes the catch, Fry called for the foul.
Now, a lot of fans behind us are booing, but I thought that was a legitimate call. You cannot displace an offensive player. There's enough contact when you're breaking out. You cannot do that and put Glover on the free throw line.
He's an 80% free throw shooter coming in and 4 of 4 tonight.
Sean Glover at the line. For the Golden Eagles.
Transfer from Utah. He's a senior from Dallas.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Oral Roberts with Kaufman coming into the game doesn't switch and go to a 2-3 zone, trying to stop Thomas's penetration.
Well, Nicholls has hit 11 of their 17 shots in the second half after going 6 of 21 in the first.
Very good move. 2-3 zone. This is going to stop Thomas from penetrating the basket.
Some contact, no foul called. The 3 for Carpenter, way off the mark. What a play by Thomas to save it, but into the Colonel bench, and it's ORU ball.
You've got, if you're going to shoot the ball right there, you've got to, if you're going to take it that quick in the shot clock, you got to do a better job. You've got to get a quality shot, at least draw iron. Now you've allowed Oral Roberts to come down now and run another play. I think still for Glover. I'm going to try to find a way to get him the ball.
Glover 8 of 12 from the floor, 24 points. Looking for 26. Bilberry, the offensive board. And a new shot clock for ORU.
So they'll have great patience. They tried to get a quick look after the offensive rebound, and now they'll go inside.
Glover finds Kaufman.
See, Kaufman has not played a lot of minutes tonight, but he's been a difference in the game. He's a major league matchup problem for Nicholls.
Lead back to 6 after the Colonels had cut it to 2. Obvious that this 2-3 zone had slowed the Colonel offense down.
Justin, now they cannot run that patent 5-out motion. Now somebody's going to have to make an outside shot.
Carpenter off the mark again for the second straight time, not even close.
But every time now, you'll watch it. Oral Roberts is coming down, feeding the ball to Glover, putting him on the wing, and then making him defend him.
From the weak side, Thomas the steal, outrunning Glover for the flush. Nicholls calls timeout. Their deficit down to 4.
Thomas comes off with the weak side. He leaves his defender, steals it, and what a major league dunk on this play.
18 in the second half for Dantrell Thomas.
You'll see this. See, Thomas leaves his man. He has enough confidence to go make the play, get the steal, and make the shot.
SportsCenter top 10 nominee Thomas doing it on both ends of the floor. He has had these types of performances consistently this season. 27, tying a career high against McNeese 9 days ago. 24 points on 11 of 16 shooting at Indiana in a loss to the Hoosiers late last year.
Best play of the year, though. The point guard from McNeese playing Houston Baptist. Game is tied up. They run the clock down to about 4 seconds. He went right down the lane and dunked the ball. What a play.
J.P. Piper from Louisiana, graduating from Southeastern in Hammond in 1991, guiding Dunham High School in Baton Rouge to that state title. And, of course, who played for him on that team, none other than David Patrick, who played professionally in Australia. Look at that, doubling as the principal for 3 of those 8 years at Dunham. 2 years an assistant at Nicholls. He's been the head coach here since 2004. He is 3 wins away from 100 in his Nicholls State coaching career.
Now that would be a milestone for him. I'd like to be around him, watch him get to number 100, because he's a quality guy. Very good coach.
Yeah, really enjoyed talking to him before the game, and he admits it and doesn't look away from the difficulties of bringing players here. You don't just drive through Thibodaux trying to get to somewhere else. You have to mean to come to Thibodaux, unlike Tulsa, where, of course, you can stop there. Quite a nice city, but can go through there, much like Nacogdoches, Huntsville, many other Southland Conference cities to get to other destinations. In other words, Nicholls State is not in a prime location for a lot of college basketball talent. But J.P. Piper has found his players from South Louisiana and his Australian pipeline. And Oral Roberts, talented as always, and up 4. Dane Chancellor's been making a good effort at that king cake given to us earlier this half, and Earl Roberts has been able to hold Nicholls at arm's length. Can they do it for the final 3:42, just a 4, and looking for a huge Southland Conference road win. Getting the big home win earlier tonight. You saw it on ESPN3. Nicholls defeating Earl Roberts. Holly Martin from Sydney, Australia, student assistant with the women's basketball staff, checking out the men's game with some of her players. That's Taylor Morrison to the left of Holly Martin. Not just men's basketball, the Australian pipeline to here in Thibodaux, Louisiana.
Nash for the women's team led her team to victory. She's been running up and down cheerleading. She's back there with the student assistant from Australia trying to hog in on the pitcher. That kid she's got more energy than anybody I've seen out here in a long time.
They do get involved with the student activities when they're not on the floor. 1 of 2 for Bill Berry, but the tip by Conley. Bill Berry able to take it back. Earl Roberts still with the ball and up 5.
You're down 5. You can't give up an offensive free throw.
And an offensive foul. Macbeth draws the charge.
You got to stay under control. I thought Nicholls got a break there. They gave up an offensive free throw, but you'll see penetration. Macbeth, great job of staying in and drawing the charge.
5th foul called on DJ Jackson as he heads to the bench. He ends the game with 4 points.
But you remember the technical foul that counts against the personal. Now that's why I say leave the mouthing off with another opponent and just play basketball. Now you've removed yourself from the game.
Nicholls 60% shooting this half, 7 of 9 from the free throw line, yet still down 4. Earl Roberts led by 6 at the break.
Rich defense went back to playing man. Earl Roberts did a little change of pace.
Rillier. Shot clock down to 12. Macbeth 7 points tonight. Looking for 10. That'll be a foul on Thomas going for the board. 2 free throws coming for ORU.
Bad foul. You're still in the game. You're only down 5. You take a tough shot, you can't make it. Go back and play defense. You're trying to draw a foul and make a steal that you cannot make.
To make matters worse, that is Dantrell Thomas's 4th foul. 23 points for him tonight and 18 in the second half. Brandon Conley, 65% from the line this season. The charity strike for 2.
See, I guess if you listen to me on the broadcast, you'll know that fouling 90 feet from the basket is my #1 pet peeve in coaching. Now you put them on the line. Now Conley's not a great free throw shooter, but you've given them 2 free throws.
One more coming for Conley, the sophomore from Fort Worth, Texas. Lead up to 6. Earl Roberts looking for their 18th Southland Conference victory dating back to last season, their first in the Southland, and of course this is their second and last, heading to the Summit League once again next year. Cardinals looking for the first ever victory over ORU. Rillier draws contact, the foul called on Singleton, and 2 free throws coming for the junior.
My thinking right now would be for both teams, they're letting the officiating or the calls are correct. I'm sitting over here and I don't have anything in the game, so to speak, emotions or the time invested. You've got to play and leave the officials alone. Let them officiate the game. You can't let this call or that call them. You have to be above that.
Rillier just a 41% shooter from the line coming in. Able to make 1 of 2.
That was the great thing about coaching the Olympic team. I had a bunch of players that didn't let anything bother them. And when you can do that, it's so good. Great timeout by Coach Sutton. You've got to lead, get everybody on the same page. You got to treat each position like it's just gold, so to speak, because you got to make each one count, get a great look at the basket.
2 timeouts remaining now for Scott Sutton's Golden Eagles. And just a consistent job he's done. And I say that with all the positivity surrounding that word as I can, because it's pretty amazing what he's done. Taking over the Oral Roberts program in April 1999. Played under his dad, Eddie, while he was the coach of Oklahoma State from 1992 through 1994. He's been with Oral Roberts so long, it wasn't the Summit League when he started, it was the Mid-Continent Conference, and he's a 3-time Mid-Con Summit Coach of the Year. 270 wins, the most all-time at Oral Roberts. And how about that? Him, Eddie Sutton, and of course his brother Sean Sutton, 1,113 wins. And actually that's just taking into account his wins and the legend Eddie Sutton.
Yes, and they lost their mother about a year ago, and I felt so bad for them. I got to know her on some of the trips we went on, and she was a wonderful person.
Jeremy Smith called for the foul. And so that'll send word to the line. And that's 4 now on Smith. So Smith, Thomas, and McBeth each with 4 fouls for Nicholls.
And defensively, all you're doing is what I call up into a player or crowding an offensive player about 30 feet from the basket. There's no reason. If you're going to foul in the shooting area. Don't be fouling in the non-shooting area.
Word's a 73% free throw shooter, but a key miss there. One more coming for the true freshman, who has come alive in the second half. All 10 of his points since the break. Still 10. McBeth the strong rebound. 5-point game in Thibodeau. Thomas will go to the line, drawing the foul on Conley.
You got to think a little bit about the game defensively. You got to realize every time Thomas touches the ball, all he's going to try to do is get to the rim, get off of him, make him shoot an outside shot. Don't let him penetrate. Now he's perfect at the free throw line, and let him make free throws.
Just about perfect, Coach. 11 of 13 from the stripe. Now 24 for Dantrell Thomas. It's 3 away from his career high, which he tied in his last game at McNeese 9 days ago. Lead still 4. Glover the rebound.
Two, 3 zone. I think now Oral Roberts got to be very, very patient. You got to know what you want to do. You got to look at maybe going inside to Kaufman. He's got a little height advantage.
Since this isn't the Colonel's specialty defensively, are you surprised they're playing it with under 2 minutes left?
I'm very surprised at this time, but I think the reason they did it was because they thought they might catch Oral Roberts off guard.
There's just 4 to shoot. Glover from the baseline. Really skies for the rebound.
The point guard does the defensive rebounding. Great defensive possession at that time for Nicholls.
They can make it a 1-possession game with a bucket. Carpenter, 1-point game in Thibodeau.
What a basketball game. Do you remember that Carpenter's last shot up was an air ball? Didn't even throw iron to help him present in a crucial situation. Down 4. This is the pass for Thomas. Set it up in rhythm and drills it.
Shooters shoot, don't they? His second 3 of the night, 36 of the year.
See, when you're an unconscious shooter like Carpenter, he thought it was a miracle the last ball did not go in. So he wasn't thinking about the last ball. He was just thinking, I'm going to make this one.
1:26 left. The Nicholls deficit is down to 1. Does J.P. Piper stay in his zone defense?
I have no doubt in my mind I would stay in the zone, but now Coach Piper, there's no telling he might come out and play man because he just believes in his man. You got to go with what you believe in at this time. But when you play zone, this makes a Glover not near as effective. He just cannot get to the rim. When you play Glover man, he gets to the rim just way too easy.
Sean Glover's had a heck of a game, 24 points, but he's hit just 1 of his last 8 shots after connecting on his first 7 of the game. They'll play zone, Coach, a 2-3 again.
I think it's a good move because I think that Oral Roberts has a little trouble against the zone.
Coming up to the 1-minute mark.
Shot clock at 14.
1 minute remaining.
Singleton. And an offensive foul. Glover is called for the moving screen. Colonels will get the ball and a chance to take the lead.
Yes, sir. Now you've got to play them. You'll see the ball screen. You just cannot come up in that. That is an offensive foul. Glover is complaining about it, but watch it. You'll see it here. You can't be a moving screen. Thomas is going to try to go one-on-one and get to the basket.
Carpenter had the big three a moment ago. Smith, 17 points tonight. 40 seconds left. Colonels down 1. Smith drives on Bilberry for the Nicholls lead. Get the roll. Shot clock off, and the Colonels up a point.
A 1-point lead. Smith did a great job of going one-on-one and taking, stepped up, squared up, and made a tough shot. You'll see it now. Here's Smith, dribbling left, dribbling right, stepping up, shooting over the defender, knocking it down.
Thanks to Raising Cane's for their support.
But now, if you're Oral Roberts, you got plenty of time. You got 30 seconds. You got a possession. You're only down 1. You're going to have to find somebody that can knock down an outside shot for you, because it's obvious they're not going to allow you to get inside. I'm going to be very surprised if Nicholls doesn't come out in the same 2-3 zone at this time.
Lastly,
excuse me, Dave, if you're Nicholls, the one thing you had to watch against, second change points. You look at it now, Smith goes up and second change points wins more games than any other opportunity, more than the first shot.
14th Nicholls State field goal of the half. That's a high number for a half. Jeremy Smith doing the honors, giving the Colonels their first lead since 38-36.
They're trying to replay the game and look at it, but see, there's not much difference. I think Oral Roberts, you don't take you don't take one shot when you're down one. What you do is you're very patient. You take the best shot you can get whenever you can. But when the ball is shot, every player from Nicholls has to go and rebound the ball, because you don't want someone. The one problem with playing a zone, you don't have block-out responsibility.
How much do you still try to get the ball into Sean Glover's hands?
I have no doubt that I'm going to let him touch the ball somewhere in this possession, some way. But I think you cannot take up the time they're taking up right now.
Scott Sutton uses his last time out after seeing the 2-3 zone again.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. It's that they've got to know you cannot run it down. Here's why you have to take a shot now. Not a hurried shot, but a good shot. If you make it, that's fine. Make Nicholls make a play. But if you don't, you have to be able to foul and extend the game. I never have thought you ought to take, when you're behind, the shot clock down there. In the NBA, they do it. Here, I don't think so.
A Nicholls victory, they'll be tied for second in the loss column in the Southland Conference. Stephen F. Austin is going to remain in first no matter what the results tonight. As we take a look, SFA is about to beat Abilene Christian to go 8-0. Sam Houston State holds off A&M Corpus Christi. So the Bearcats 7-2 in conference. The Islanders 6-3. Lamar with a victory over HBU. So Lamar now 2-7 in conference. Southeastern Louisiana falls to 4-5 in conference. Same with McNeese, or actually McNeese 4-4 with a loss at home to UCA. And so again, a Nicholls victory, tied for second in the loss column in conference, and in third place overall. They need to make the final stop to do it.
Now they got to come down and you got to make a stop. You got to rebound the ball.
They stay in their 2-3. A bucket wins it. Glover off the glass, off the mark. Bilberry fouled and will go to the line.
What did I tell you about rebound? You've got to have everybody on your team to go up and secure the ball. You'll see Oral Roberts then come up. They get Glover the ball inside. That was the play. He misses it. They run in from the outside and shoot it. They draw a foul.
Sam Macbeth is fouled out, picking up his fifth. The sophomore from Sydney, Australia, leaves the game with 7 points. So it is Corey Bilberry, the sophomore from Tulsa, at the line.
Bill Berry, a 65% shooter. Now, because they're in the double bonus, has 2 attempts to tie it. And there's a whole lot less pressure on you if you have 2 free throws. You don't have to make the first one. You're just thinking, all I got to do is make 1 out of 2. Now the pressure is really on.
It can get loud at Stoper Gym with the low roof. No fans waving at Bill Berry as he'll attempt this second free throw. And J.P. Piper will let him think about it longer as he takes his final timeout.
I thought that was a good timeout by Coach Piper because, see, you still have 6.9. Oral Roberts has no timeouts. Take the timeout now, and then what happens, if he does make it, you can get it in quickly and know what you want to run. If he makes it, I'm going to get it into Thomas, let him carry it coast to coast and get me a shot. If he misses it, I better have all 5 guys blocking out. Or Roberts, if he misses it, has to take a quick foul.
Oral Roberts losses in conference play coming in by 7, 3, and 4 points. But you'd think that this would be the most bitter to swallow.
Now, I told you I didn't think there was any pressure on the first one. I think there's a lot of pressure on this one.
Still 6.9 left, so plenty could happen after this free throw, make or miss. Tied at 65.
I thought he would make that shot.
No timeouts left. Smith for the win. Overtime on the Bayou.
What a basketball game. Overtime. The home team's a little disappointed they couldn't win it. The Viston team is ecstatic.
Bonus basketball when we return. Scott Sutton's Golden Eagles will have to play 5 more minutes to try to end their 2-game losing streak, looking to avoid their first 3-game conference losing streak in 3 years. J.P. Piper has to feel fortunate, even up 1 late, to still be in this position. His Colonels down most of the first 40 minutes.
Yes, and I think anytime when you trail like that, you wanted to win in regulation, but if you could win in overtime, that's fine. But I do think that they've suffered a tough loss. I don't think there's any doubt. McBell's fouling out because of his size and his versatility. This makes Nicholls very, very small at this time, and I think that you'll see Oral Roberts try to go inside more.
Second straight overtime game for Nicholls. Their last 9 days ago, their last contest, as they won in Lake Charles against McNeese 87-79. They shot 4 of 7 from the floor in OT. McNeese 2 and 15. Can they hold Oral Roberts to similar woes offensively? Glover can't get it started for ORU, and Doyle the rebound for Nicholls. Glover now has hit just 1 of his last 10
Glover started out red hot, really struggled, but they've got to find a solution to Thomas right now. I'm talking about if you're Oral Roberts, you know he's going to get to the basket. Somebody's going to have to come from the weak side and double team because he's just a handful right now.
Singleton picks up his 4th foul. And so certainly the foul situation we must look at for both teams. DJ Jackson has already fouled out for Oral Roberts. Singleton now with 4. And Wilson is also fouled out for the Golden Eagles. Their 6'7" sophomore. Now for J.P. Piper's club, Macbeth has already fouled out. And his 2 leading scorers, Thomas and Smith, with 4 fouls apiece.
It's going to be the difference. I think Jackson's hurt Oral Roberts. I think that when he fouled out, there was a difference in their team because his confidence to shoot the 3 ball was outstanding.
20 points for Thomas in the second half and overtime, putting the offense on his shoulders after Jeremy Smith scored 10 in the first half for the Colonels. This ties Nicholls' biggest lead, 2.
That's hard to believe as you watch this game.
For the Colonels.
And so they'll bring in Liam Thomas, the 6'10" freshman from Sydney, Australia. Out goes Carpenter, so some extra size down low for Nicholls.
And Thomas will have to guard Glover inside and then get a key defensive rebound for Nicholls to win.
And they take Thomas out with those 4 fouls. So some defense for offense strategy by J.P. Piper. Glover from the elbow for the tie. Still called from the floor. And a foul called. This may be on Glover for a push from behind. That is the call.
Foul on number 11, Sean Glover.
Glover has gotten really frustrated because his shot won't fall. He's got quality shots. You'll see this one. Great shot. I think he thought ever since he got the offensive foul that's bothered him. But I still say, when you miss a shot, go back to the other end and play defense.
Liam Thomas 4 of 10 from the line this season and way off on the first. That's why he's in there for defense. He's leading shot blocker, but just 2.5 points a game. And again, struggling from the line.
Every free throw right now is vital to your team.
He misses both. Still a 2-point deficit for Oral Roberts.
Glover for Oral Roberts right now has to relax, has to quit letting things bother and make plays.
Bilberry to the rim. He'll go to the line for 2. Thomas picks up the foul again.
This is where I thought you'll see Bilberry go up, great presence. Clark, you go over, Thomas tries to block the shot. You got to make him make a tough shot.
4 fouls on Thomas. Bilberry 1 of 2 from the stripe just before the end of regulation. He's tied the score at 65. He looks to tie it at 67 with his second free throw. First, Thomas will check in for Nicholls.
They have to get Thomas back in the game at this time because Thomas is so vital. Anytime the Kaufmans come in the game, or Roberts has gone to a zone, if they do, they've got to find Carpenter.
And of course, that's Dantrell Thomas in, Liam Thomas out. Bilberry 1 of 2 again. Fry the board for the Colonels.
And now they're going to a zone. If you're Oral Roberts, you better find Carpenter. Switching defenses by both teams, trying to cause some problems.
Doyle had a big 3 late against McNeese wearing number 33. But on the other end of the floor, Rillier as the shot clock winds down. Smith the tip. Rillier somehow saved it to Smith. Amazing hustle by the junior from New Orleans.
I would love to see if we had a replay. He looked like to me he went a long ways to save that basketball.
Still a fresh shot clock for Nicholls. Against this zone, can they get a good look? Just 10 to shoot. Thomas from the corner. The ball squeezes through to Singleton. And Oral Roberts can take the lead with a bucket.
Well, Roberts did a nice job of eventually getting on that shot. Nicholls just went completely to sleep. What a great pass inside. Now, Nicholls has got to find a way to attack this zone. It's causing them some real problems.
Bill Berry, the big 2, and Oral Roberts up 1. Smith. Now 10 to shoot. Still no passes inside. Smith will try to go inside himself. Nicholls the lead.
What a game. Back and forth.
Our 7th lead change, many of them coming late. Kaufman. ORU the lead back. Kaufman with 9. 1 minute remaining in overtime.
Carroll may have to step up and make a 3-ball for Nicholls here late in the game.
This is Doyle. Just hard to get an open look against this zone. Great length around the perimeter for Oral Roberts. 6 to shoot. Smith will look to rescue his team again. For the second straight time, he does it. Colonels call timeout. They're back up 1.
It's amazing how Smith keeps getting to the mid-range jumper and pulling it up and making it. You'll see it on it. Smith ball fake. You've got a gap between a defender and the basket. You're out there trying to pressure a guy. You'll see it there. They're trying to pressure a guy. Glover should have come over and helped out at that time. Stopping penetration.
And he got it over the outstretched arm of the 7-footer Kaufman.
Yes, and now, if you're Oral Roberts, you're in the same situation you were in at the end of regulation. You've got to come down now and get a shot anywhere you can in the 30-second clock. And then you'll see it now. You'll see Smith. I thought at that time Glover should have pinched him inside, let Thomas make the outside shot. But I also thought that at that time that Bill Berry should not have gotten on the outside of the offensive player. But going back, I think Oral Roberts gets a shot. I will still say this. If you're Nicholls, you cannot give up a rebound, an offensive rebound at this time.
If you're Scott Sutton, though, your star and Glover's only hit 1 of his last 11. How much do you trust him despite his talent in a situation like this?
I'm going to tell him, see that? You're outside. You're trying to steal the basketball. There's no reason to get that. The shot clock is down. If they'd have made Smith make a tough outside shot, he'd have had a hard time making it. But I'm going to go back to what you said. I'm going to go to Glover right now. During this timeout, I'm going to say, Glover, get everything. You are our man. You're going to win this game for me. I'm going to give you the ball. Make the play. I'm going to go with you.
We'll see what Scott Sutton draws up. Now, remember, with timeouts added in overtime, and you see it on the bottom of your screen, Golden Eagles do have a timeout left. So, of course, they can use it if they don't like, or if Scott Sutton doesn't like what he sees coming out of the huddle. We had 5 lead changes in all of regulation. 4 in this overtime period. Jeremy Smith providing 2 of the last 3 lead changes with huge shots as the shot clock was winding down.
Yes, and big time shot. And now the bench, the assistant coaches from Oral Roberts is telling Scott he's got 1 timeout. That's what assistant coaches do. They're going to come down and be very, very patient.
The freshman from Sydney, Liam Thomas, is on the floor. Tip of the pass. Dantrell Thomas gets the steal, but I believe he tried to call timeout, and the Colonels are out of them.
What a play.
Our officiating crew will make sure what the right call should be. But again, Nicholls out of timeouts. If Dantrell Thomas tried to call timeout, that is a technical foul on the Colonels. And the Golden Eagles will have free throws.
If this is the case, in the NCAA chess, Chris Webber calling a timeout when Michigan didn't have one.
Well, that is obviously the most famous example. Brent Dugas, our referee, is going to talk to both our head coaches.
I'm a little amazed that there are this many explanations. I've seen no signal at this time. I do think that I've not seen a signal that there was a technical.
It's on the far side from us. If Dantrell Thomas steps out of bounds before trying to call timeout, it's simply Oral Roberts basketball. If he's inbounds with possession trying to call timeout, that's the key. He has to have possession. Brent Dugas is actually going to come to us and explain it.
He asked for the timeout. We granted the timeout. They had none left. So we got a technical foul for 2 minutes. No timeout.
It is a technical foul.
Who's going to shoot and go back to the
called on Dantrell Thomas. And so Glover will have 2 free throws to try to give ORU the lead. Despite his struggles from the floor as of late, he is 6 of 6 from the line tonight.
Now he has 2 free throws, an 80% shooter. But I'm going to tell you, it's hard to make them when you're out there by yourself. Nobody's on the line.
One more for the senior.
What I'm amazed about, why was there so much discussion? If that was the case, he called a timeout and didn't have one.
There's wanting to make sure you're right, and then there's wanting to make sure you're right 4 times. What a job by their leader.
But we just discussed who had the timeout. That's one of the things I love about the ESPN. They have little bars down under the, the deal. Now, what defense is Oral Roberts going to be in? They take out Kaufman, so it looks like to me it's going to be man. It's going to be Thomas driving all the way.
Thomas with 26, Smith with 23. Thomas. Dantrell Thomas draws contact. He'll go to the line for 2.
I thought Thomas would have the ball. He's a 76% shooter. One star made it. Let's see if the other star can make his.
Conley called for his 3rd. Now look, Ben, 7.2 seconds left. Even if he makes them both, you're right, plenty of time for Oral Roberts.
Bill Berry can get the basketball, drive the length of the court, make a play.
If he connects on this free throw, it'll be a new career high for Dantrell Thomas. Already over 1,000 points in his career. And Oral Roberts uses their timeout here.
Well, I think it serves 2 purposes. You can go ahead and draw it up, see what the play is at this time, and then try to ice Thomas. But nothing's going to ice a senior. If you can shoot free throws, you can shoot them. He's a senior. What a game, 72 all. The question mark is, if you're Nicholls State and you make this one, what defense are you going to get in? You see what Oral Roberts went to. I was a little surprised. I thought Oral Roberts might zone that last possession.
There's Dantrell Thomas, and none of his teammates are going to say a word to him as he leaves the hut.
But in the college game, there's so much time left. 7 seconds is a lot of time. You can't get Glover a shot, but you can get any kind of guard, Word, Bill Berry, Singleton. They're going to get a look at the basket.
Career high to give Nicholls the lead. No timeouts left. Oral Roberts. Here comes Bill Berry on the drive. Off the mark. Nicholls survives at home.
What a game for Nicholls to win right here at the end. The students, everybody storming the court. The women's players, football players. What a night here at
Australian contingent. But it's Dantrell Thomas, a career-high 28, and Jeremy Smith, 23, to pace the Colonels. And what heartbreak after such a hard-fought effort by Earl Roberts here tonight. 73-72, Nicholls with the victory. We'll talk to the winning head coach when we return to Thibodaux.
Make no little plans here. It's a statement of people who think big. People who are easily frustrated with the status quo. People who want to change the world. Whatever it is that you're called to accomplish, know this. ORU is a place that inspires greatness. It's about the power of an idea, and it's about the power of change. So the only question is, what's your plan?
It's the countdown to Katy. Southland Conference basketball teams are fighting for a chance to play in the Merrill Center. A league title and a bid to the big dance will be on the line. The action begins March 12th. Visit southland.org/Katy or Ticketmaster.com and start your countdown to Katy.
Oral Roberts led most of the way, but in overtime back and forth, we had 11 lead changes for the game, 6 coming in the extra frame. And Nicholls survives Oral Roberts 73-72. David Salzman, Van Chancellor, and the winning head coach, J.P. Piper. Down the stretch, it was your leaders. Jeremy Smith, a couple of huge buckets, and Dantrell Thomas, those 2 big free throws to give him a career high, and in the end, your team the victory.
Yeah, those guys were huge late, and we did a few things that seemed like we were maybe going to shoot ourselves in the foot, and we just kept saying in the huddle, just keep believing, find a way, keep believing, find a way to win, and thank goodness we did. Those 2 free throws late were huge, and those 2 shots Jeremy hit under 10 seconds, those last 2 offensive possessions were huge. Couldn't be prouder of those guys.
Coach, let me ask you this question. They had free throws. They missed it. You got a deflection over there in the corner. Thomas calls a timeout. What's going through your mind?
Well, I think the game's over. I think we've lost because I have to confess I didn't fully understand the rule. I thought they were going to get 2 free throws and they were going to get the basketball back. It goes back to my high school days. When I found out we were going to get the ball back with 20 seconds, I told the guys, hey, let that go, flush that. We're going to go win this game because we're going to get an opportunity to come down and score, and thankfully it worked out that way.
What play were you calling? You were down 1. Were you getting the ball to Thomas or just going to get it to a perimeter and carry it to the basket?
We told them just play, just freelance. We wanted something in a gap to the rim. We don't want to settle for a jumper. We felt like with the fatigue by both teams, it was going to be hard for a defender to slide and stay in front. In fact, I told Jeremy at the end of regulation, I said, man, you just push that play to the rim at that point in the game and force those officials to make a call at the rim. He pulled up and wanted to be a little conservative. But DT understood late and just shoved that thing in the gap, got the call, and was clutch at the free throw line. But, nothing drawn up. Just go play. Let your players play.
Is this the type of game that your team wins in previous years when you were successful because of the leadership you had on the floor tonight?
Yeah, I think back to the team with Justin Payne and Ryan Bathy that won 20 games. And, we won these types of ball games because of our senior leadership, and I think that's what you saw out on the floor tonight. And look, Shane Rillier not a senior, but he didn't come off the floor after halftime, and I thought was huge. Just managed the game for us, defended well, kept his guys in the right place, and ran his team superbly.
Well, time now for our Southland Strong Player of the Game. And Dantrell Thomas was held in check during the first half. What changed JP Piper in the second half in OT to open up these opportunities for him?
You know, I just told him he needed to be a little bit more aggressive. I thought Oral Roberts was the aggressor in the first half. I thought they really looked to challenge us in gaps, challenge us at the rim. And I told DT in the locker room, I said, you know, you've gotten to the free throw line some, but you've yet to get a field goal. You're 0 for 2 coming in the locker room. You've got to assert yourself a little more. You're too talented a player to be held in check that way, and he came out determined to make a difference in the second half and certainly did.
Dantrell Thomas, 28 points. That's a career high, and the game-winning free throw gave him that total. 15 of 18 from the charity stripe tonight. Now, final question, 6-2 in conference. You're still a couple of games behind SFA, but, Coach, your team is right there.
I love this group. We're getting better and better each night out, and this was a huge game for us to win. The momentum we'll get off of this and the buy-in that we'll get, I think will help us. You know, we got another big one on Saturday. There's no time to rest. You saw guys cramping and tired. We got to turn around and take care of business on Saturday. But, again, I love this team. I love what they're becoming. We didn't look like this in November and early December. We've really come a long way and grown up, and that's a testament to those seniors, and we got to find a way to keep it going.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
JP Piper, his Nicholls Colonel, survive Oral Roberts 73-72. As we look at the final stats, both teams shot great from the floor. Both teams also shot very well from the free throw line. And both teams, Van Chancellor, didn't turn the ball over. But that difference of 4 turnovers, Oral Roberts with 11, Nicholls with 7. You see the 6 more field goal attempts for Nicholls. They just made 1 more field goal. Those little things made a big difference.
This was just a great game. Well played when you don't have but 18 turnovers between 2 teams in a college basketball game. I thought they both played well, well coached. Nicholls did a great job of winning. Smith made 2 clutch mid-range jumpers, which is going by the pass. Many people don't shoot those anymore. And I thought his 2 with less than 8 seconds on the shot clock was the difference in the game.
I'm so happy to give you this game on ESPN3 in the States and also half the world away. A good afternoon and good weekend to all of our viewers on ESPN in Australia and New Zealand. So glad you were able to join us for this exciting game. Nicholls 73, Oral Roberts 72. Great game, great king cake. For Van Chancellor and our entire broadcast crew, I'm David Salzman, and thanks for being with us.